What's good, y'all? I already know where y'all at. It's your boy Star Jones, and it's a new episode of Star Views. It's about to start right now. So please, I hope you got your hookah ready, and I hope you got your cups full of whatever ready, because I got a lot to talk about, alright? Know what's going on. Star Jones, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Please and thanks, you heard? It's good to be back, folks. It's been a while. I know I said I was going to get y'all an episode. You know what I'm saying? In a couple days after the movie we're going to talk about this evening, but real life happened, so I got caught up. But I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Another episode. First episode for the month of September, so I'm excited. Um, but before I get into that, again, I do want to apologize for having you guys wait. I don't like making you guys wait, but it is what it is. And again, I'm sorry. So, but tonight though, we're gonna be talking about the latest installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, aka the MCU, Shang-Chi. Yeah, I said it right. Shang-Chi, starring, I'm probably gonna butcher his name right now. Simu Lu. I apologize, bro, if I'm saying your name wild crazy, but starring my son, he's Canadian. You know what I'm saying? Um, Aquafina's in the flick. She's a Asian comedian slash actress. Um, so the cast is pretty recognizable. A lot of the other characters in the film were portrayed by Asian actors and actresses that we've seen on the big screen before. So I'm gonna go get my drink situated. Y'all get your hookah and everything else y'all gotta get situated. I'll be back in 2 seconds. And when I get back, we're gonna get right into it. It may be mild spoilers in tonight's episode. I'm not gonna violate with nothing crazy. Or at least I'm gonna try not to. So if you cool with the mild spoilers, hang out, get right, and again I'll be back in a second. Be back, folks. I know what it is. So, uh, Shang-Chi, as I mentioned, Simu Lu. I hope I'm saying his name right. I really do. I had a math teacher in high school, in summer school, named Lu, and he spelled that Liu. So I'm hoping I'm at least getting the last name right. But anywho, Mr. Lu, the guy who's starring as Shang-Chi, pretty much, again, them start a film. But the movie pretty much starts off, we get to see the father, or maybe if you didn't know it was a father, spoiler. But again, you see him all over the trailer, and they've hinted, they pretty much made it abundantly clear that he's the dad. So, but we pretty much see the dad of Shang-Chi in what looks like olden times. We don't know, old Asian war type of situation. I don't know how far back it was. I may have missed the time frame if they did put it up, but we pretty much see him wielding the 10 rings. What has everything to do with the title of the film. From the comic book standpoint, the MCU kind of went a different direction with the 10 rings, because in the comics, they're actual rings that you wield on your fingers versus the bracelets that they wear on their arms in this film. So that's one of the main differences from the continuity of the comics versus the continuity of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But fast forward, we get to see Shang-Chi in a modern day San Francisco with his best friend. Um, they're, en route to work. They're going to see their family. They're having discussions. They're going to get karaoke. Everything is fun. Everything is dandy. And one particular morning, while en route to work, that's where the bus scene that we've seen in the trailers transpires, and we get to see Shang-Chi get it on for the first time. Um, in the midst of this scuffle on the bus, Shang-Chi has this green medallion that he wears taken from him. And his best friend in the heat of the moment is like, yo, when did you learn how to fight? And what's so, particular and special about this medallion that you wore? So this is pretty much when our adventure begins with Shang-Chi and him discovering what type of role he will play in the MCU moving forward. Um, Along the way, we meet other relatives of his. Along the way, we get to see other cameos from MCU stars, MCU characters, some that we haven't seen in quite some time. And all in the process, we get to see him in his estranged relationship with his father, his sister, and a little background because this is pretty much an origin story. So we get a lot of background on Shang-Chi and his family, pretty much, and where they came from, why they are where they are, and today, why they are where they are today, um, and pretty much how his father, the fact that his father's carried these rings for so long, something has like knocked a couple screws loose in his head, and he begins trying to search for his wife, who has passed away and was killed when Shang-Chi and his sister was a child. So Shang-Chi and his sister's kind of like, Pops, you got to move on. Something's wrong up there. Like, she's gone. There's no one talking to you. But the father's adamant about going to the mother's old village and freeing her from this place. I'm not going to tell you exactly what. I'm going over a lot of things, but you know, going back to the old village where the mother's from and ultimately freeing her from where he thinks she is. Of course, Shang-Chi, of course, is like, listen, Pops, you're bugging out. Mom's not there. But of course, he's not trying to hurt what he had to say, so that's what it is. And that's pretty much the movie. And then like I said, we pretty much see Shang-Chi become the wielder of the Ten Rings and, is now this hero in the MCU. So once I get back, I'm going to actually rate this film. I'm going to let you guys know whether or not you should see it, whether or not it's worth the bread. Um, yeah, I know that's my favorite part of the show anyway. So continue smoking y'all hookah. Y'all got about 14 seconds. I'll see y'all in a second. I'm actually straighten my hat for this portion of the show. Because I'm about to, you know what I'm saying, be really honest, as I always am, though, because y'all already know that. I don't really bite my tongue. So, as always, I'm going to give you the pros and the cons of the film. Um, so, I'm going to start with the pros. The same way I won't say the same way, because I'm not an Asian. I'm a black man, which is obvious. But, like Black Panther, I had a huge appreciation for what Marvel did because how important they emphasized the black culture and how they got the casting right. They did such an amazing job with the music, and they kind of, really made you appreciate being an African American, being black, and even if you weren't, you just kind of got what was going on. And they did the same thing with Shang-Chi. I think they did a good job. Not as good, but I think they did a good job with, kind of putting Americans on with the Asian culture. I think that was a cool thing that they did. I think it was solid. I don't think the delivery was as good as what Ryan Coogler did with Black Panther, but again, I think it was cool. They still got a lot of star-studded, well-recognized Asian actors and actresses to play in this film, and that's appreciate. I could appreciate that. Them, looking out for a particular race of folks and being like, yo, listen, here's some history, here's some culture in the event that you didn't know. So I think that was cool, and I'm sure other people would appreciate that as well. Um, the fighting in the film, the fight scene on the bus, I think was amazing. I think it was really good. Um, and I'm gonna be honest, that's the kind of fight sequence that I was looking for in Black Widow. I'm gonna be honest. That's the kind of fighting I was expecting from Black Widow. Natasha Romanoff ain't no chump. And I just feel like in that film they kind of softened up her fighting abilities. I just feel like you didn't really hit the punches land how you were supposed to. The choreography wasn't really there. It wasn't like it just wasn't hitting the way Shang-Chi's busing was hitting. That busing was hitting. You know what I'm saying? So I give them that. And I really enjoyed that phase of the film. And at that point in the movie, I was like, oh, this is going to be really good. Because that bus, like I said, the bus scene wasn't too far into the film. It was relatively early. So, you know, that was cool. I also like the cameos that we've seen in the post credits. That was very important to the story. Um, Not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna tell you who is in the post credits, but you will be pleasantly surprised when you see um, the characters in the post credits. I mentioned uh, MCU characters that we've seen before in the actual film, the main acts of the film. That was also cool to see because again, Marvel does a good job of keeping you interested. And I think just the subtle characters that you've seen um, was definitely a big positive. Um, as far as cons are concerned, I mentioned how that fight scene on the bus was lit. All the fight scenes after that was very lackluster. Um, like I said, they started off the film 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Like they went in. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the choreography was fire. You know what I'm saying? Very convincing. You heard the punches. The fact that Shang-Chi was using his environments on a tight. It reminded me of the movie Raid. You ever seen Raid? That's the John. I don't know if it's in the Philippines or somewhere in Asia. And pretty much the police is in the building and they trapped in there with all the drug dealers and killers. And they pretty much in a tight confined building and they just gotta get it on to get out. That's what that reminded me of, and that just in that one small scene. So y'all already know. And then in that one scene, my son had the fast punches like my son IP man. Wow. I know my kung fu flick watchers could relate to what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm sure y'all could feel me when I got to say how that was a positive. But again, to the flaws, I mean to the cons, all the rest of the fights moving forward was kind of boring. I ain't gonna front. As the movie progressed, I also got bored. Um, Not bored like Snake Eyes, where I was kind of watching my clock to see what time this was ending, but it got to a point where it was a lot of like a very long dialogue, and it was just kind of boring. And then they tried to tie in a little sparring match in between the dial, and it just didn't hit. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, I don't want to tell you exactly what happened, but the fighting scenes moving forward just wasn't it. Um, and then the story became very whimsy. I don't know if whimsical or whimsy is short for whimsical. I'm not too sure, but I feel like the movie got real whimsical and it lost me. It lost its serious tonality. It was like it felt serious. Like again, Marvel was good known for like having bright movies. Like their movies are bright. The sun shines and it's you know what I'm saying? It's embracing. You got all this light. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of it was like I said, the tonality of the film in the beginning was serious. Like, all right, boom, we saw his father wailing. You know what I'm saying? Back when, and then we seen him on a bus 0 to 60 like this. You know what I'm saying? Went from this regular Asian looking kid to now this Asian boy wilding out. You know what I'm saying? And then it just kind of fizzled down, and then it got to this like I ain't gonna front. I felt like I was watching live action Pokemon. It got to a point where we started seeing majestic animals and all that. Visually, looked nice. It looked good, but like I said, it looked like a live action Pokemon movie. It just got weird. It just well not weird, but it just got whimsical. I think that's the best way I could describe it. It got real whimsical. You know what I'm saying? Fairy tale. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like they kind of and again, maybe these shows or in movies I'm about to reference took this from Chinese culture. Maybe. But it was a lot of Game of Thrones elements added in here, Pokemon elements added in there. What else was another element? Oh, the Airbender John from Nickelodeon back when was an element in there. It was like, and again, maybe these shows again. I'm sure Airbender took something from Chinese culture. I'm positive. I'm certain about that. But and Pokemon, of course, absolutely Japanese. That's Asian culture. But again, anime. But again, it's just like with those shows, it was kind of like, all right, cool. This is what it's expected. But with this movie, it kind of was like, all right, well, you took a lot from these things and put it in here, and it just I don't know, it just didn't mesh well for me. Like I said, it just didn't mesh well for me. Um, and that was big for me. Um, so yeah. But that said, I'm gonna give this movie 6 stars, 6 of them Jones. 6 stars. When the movie first began and I was watching, I was like, this is actually going to be better. This might be better than Black Widow because, as you guys know, I scored Black Widow with a 6.5. That was very underwhelming and it was disappointing for me to even say. It still hurts me to say it now. But as the movie progressed, like I mentioned just now with my it just started to lose me. I started losing interest. The energy just didn't follow all the way through. Um, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was something else that was influenced in this movie, but it didn't hit like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I remember watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and being blown away. How they was running on the leaves and floating, and that was lit. It just didn't translate to this. So 6 stars. Um, if you are an MCU fan, if you are a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then yes, I suggest you see it just for the continuity. The fact that this is canon, and as I said, there's 2 post-credit scenes that motivate you to continue watching the MCU. So I think, if you're an MCU fan, absolutely spend the money, go see it. It's not a terrible movie, it's not a whack movie, but it's above average. It's really above average. And again, right now the MCU is not doing so good in phase 4 as far as movies are concerned. TV shows, knocking them joints out the park. But movies right now, don't know. The Eternals is up next, and then we got Spider-Man No Way Home after that. Hopefully, I think Eternals might be low key the best film, low key, of Phase 4 this year. But we shall see. Um, we'll see. But that's my time, folks. Again, 6 stars. Oh wait, I didn't tell you. Oh yeah, and if you're not an MCU fan, don't waste your money. Period. I forgot. I'm sorry. I left that out. If you're not a Marvel fan, you're not really into comic books that too tough, too slick. Don't even worry about it. Keep your bread. But if you are a fan of MCU, I reiterate, I'll say it again, go see it. Because it's important to the story. And again, if you're a fan, you'll still appreciate the story. Because again, the story wasn't terrible, the movie wasn't terrible. It just wasn't, I guess what it should have been. But it made bread, 90 mil first weekend. So Black Widow made 100 mil, so 100 plus mil. So, you know, Marvel's still making their money, so you already know they can still finesse these budgets and keep giving us maybe fire movies in the future. But again, I'm optimistic. Spider-Man No Way Home and the Eternals should be good. You know what I'm saying? But that's my time. Y'all have a good night. I will see y'all later on this month. Star Views, y'all already know. Appreciate y'all time. Oh, y'all still here? Appreciate y'all for sticking around, man. But I don't got no more hookah. But what I do have is more content on my YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't done so already, hit that red button and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified as soon as I post anything. Alright? And if you haven't already followed me on social media, here's my information. Make sure y'all follow up. Appreciate it. Y'all still here, man. That's valid. Have a good one.